Okay, so I watched the Fallout show around when it came out, and I feel like it's been a month plus. I've been meaning to record this video, and then I just keep not doing it. So, fuck it, I'm doing it now. Sorry for being super echoey in here. I'm at Clay's right now. I normally would record either at my place or at the car, but it's really hot in the car, so I figured I would do it in here, and I don't know. This feels kind of fitting to me, being in this big empty room and well, it's Fallout. It's a post-apocalyptic story where it's a very empty. I mean, it's not a super empty world. There's still stuff to do and places to see. What's the golden rule? It's thou shalt get distracted by every goddamn side quest. But also, I mean, it's a deep a decent amount of Fallout can be very claustrophobic, when they're in a vault. And so I'm not quite in a vault, I'm in a room, but I don't know, the setting feels kind of fitting to me. But before I get into the show proper, a couple things I want to say. Number one, first and foremost, full spoilers for the entire show. You have been warned. I will give a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, I think I did 3 and I'm still on 4 fingers. Spoilers live. Thing number 2 is I want to talk about my familiarity with the Fallout game series before I say anything about the show. Which, I'm a very casual Fallout fan. I've played a few of the games, like I played a little bit of 3, a little bit of New Vegas, a little bit of 4. I've never actually finished a Fallout game. I liked what I played, I just never got around to finishing any of them. I have, most of my very good friends are big Fallout fans. I have seen them play Fallout. I have heard them talk about Fallout. So I feel like through osmosis, I have a good understanding of what happens in the games, a lot of the side quests, plot events, etc., etc. Also, I've read Fallout Equestrian, Project Horizons, and there's quite a few moments where I'm like Rick Dalton going, oh wait, I recognize that! Not just the Friendship is Magic elements, but I know that from the games, I know that from the games, and that's a little bit of other Fallout familiarity that I have. To me, what Fallout is, again, from my kind of secondhand knowledge and my firsthand knowledge as well, it's very dark and fucked up. It's a post-apocalyptic story. It's what you expect. I think it's in New Vegas, one of the first people you meet outside of Good Springs, he immediately mugs you. And it's kind of your moment to realize that, yeah, not everyone is going to be what's the doctor's name? Doc Mitchell, I think. Not everyone's going to be like Doc Mitchell and is going to be really nice to you and helping you out. Some people are going to take advantage of you. Some people are just absolute fucking pieces of shit. Fallout is also incredibly goofy. And not just if you have Wild Wasteland and there's the fridge. And they reference that. I'm sorry, I had to bring this up because I remember when you get bits of Maximus's backstory, you see him walking out of a fridge. And I feel like it's one of those things where people who aren't as familiar with Fallout will just think it's a reference to Indiana Jones, but it's a double reference to the dude in the fridge in New Vegas if you have Wild Wasteland, which is a reference to Indiana Jones. And I think that's really fun. These games can be really goofy and really funny. I think it's in Fallout 3 where I think there's a safe you can open, and if you crack the code and you open the safe, it just says "fuck you" written in the safe. I think that's great. There's that dude in New Vegas. I don't remember what his name is, but I think he's working for the NCR at Helios 1, and they're it's do you have a degree in physics? I told him I had a theoretical degree in physics. They said you're hired. And to me, that's what Fallout is. It's very dark. It's very fucked up. It's also very goofy and very funny about it. And I think this show absolutely nailed it. So getting into the show proper, I just kind of want to talk about our 4 main characters and just some aspects of their stories and blah, blah, blah. So we start off with Lucy, and there's this video. It's, what is it? I don't remember what it's called, but it's something. It's like the ugliest cat in the world or something like that. And it's this dude filming in first person. And you're like, Ma, this fucking cat, is that a fucking cat? It makes me laugh every time. The reason I bring this up is he's talking about his other cat. He's like, we gotta get this thing out of the yard, Ma. I don't want it starting a fight with Lucy. And then he looks at the other guy and goes, Lucy, oh, you're a good girl, Lucy. Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. This fucking cat. And every time now I hear the name Lucy, my brain immediately goes to that video. Anytime I hear the name Lucy, I just think to myself, I don't want it starting a fight with Lucy. I can't help it. So that was funny to me anytime I heard her name. And again, it's not to say like I don't like the name or I just think the name is inherently goofy. Lucy's a very sweet name. But anyways, I feel like I'm even getting more distracted and more on a tangent than I normally do in a video. This video might be weird. I guess I am embodying Fallout. I'm getting distracted by every fucking thing imaginable. Let's go. Anyways, point. Lucy is our vault dweller. She is our wide-eyed ideal. It's like, I'm gonna help save the wasteland, but I also have to save my dad because we're not adapting Fallout 3, but there's just a little bit of Fallout 3 here, and I kind of appreciated that. There's a point where they mentioned like the water chip is kind of busted. I'm like, that's Fallout 1. I kind of appreciate some of these. And as she goes out into the wasteland, slowly but surely, her idealism and her chipper attitude just get whittled down and whittled away, while never truly losing her humanity. And I always find those kinds of stories really interesting. Again, it's one of the things I really like about Fallout Equestria. It is, at least the original story, you have your vault dweller going out into the world, and while they have their idealism and their naivete, I think that's the better way of saying it, because Lucy is a very naive character. But after spending a few days in the wasteland, after interacting with the ghoul a few times, the naivete goes away. She becomes a lot, I don't know if I necessarily want to say smarter, but at least a lot, you use a DuckTales line, sharper than the Sharpies. Because, Scrooge McDuck, he was tougher than the Toughies and smarter than the Smarties. He was also sharper than the Sharpies, and that's something that, I think he even says that when he's talking to Louie. He's like, most people forget about that one. But her story is, on the day of her wedding, her husband attacked the vault along with the other people from his vault, and they ended up kidnapping her dad. So she is leaving the vault to go find her dad, and along the way, meeting all kinds of colorful characters, and she has to deliver this dude from the Enclave to negotiate for her dad. And the dude's like, look, I'm super fucked up. His leg gets exploded. So he eats a banana-flavored cyanide pill, while also calling it the most humane thing Vault-Tec ever produced. It's like, here's the thing, they only need my head. My body's gonna slow you down, just cut off my head. So she's carrying this dude's head, and she ends up losing the head because it gets devoured by this giant radiation monster. Then she gotta get the head from that, but then the ghoul has it, so she gotta get it from the ghoul. And it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess, and it's wonderful. And then after she ends up becoming friends with Maximus, who's this dude from the Brotherhood of Steel, Penn and Maximus. By the end of the season, she realizes her dad might not be worth saving. And I know I said full spoilers, but there's a part of me that's like, I kind of don't want to spoil it. Because I really want people to watch this show, because I had such a good time watching this show. But I said full spoilers, so fuck it. Her dad nuked the NCR. They're gone. Shady Sands or Shady... I think it's Shady Sands is what the capital is. Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. There is a giant fucking hole there, and that's where Maximus is from. He actually he was... I looked like he was maybe 4 or 5 when it happened, but he was born into the NCR. And Lucy's dad was the guy who pulled the trigger on that, because he is part of Vault-Tec. Because as we find out in our pre-war story, which is with the ghoul, Coop, Vault-Tec, I don't think it's necessarily that they started the war. They're the ones that ended the war. They're the ones that dropped the bombs, because if there are no bombs, there's no threat of them, people aren't going to buy our shelters. People aren't going to buy into the shelters. And we have to make money, because if there's one thing we know about war, A, it never changes, and 2, it's great for fucking capitalism. And that particular vault, I think it was 31. They had a slogan. I don't remember what the slogan was. I don't think I wrote it down. But it was something like, when things look glum, vote 40 or vote 31. 31 is the vote for all the vaults where all the overseers come from, because it's people from Vault Tech who were really close to one particular dude. His name was Bud. I don't remember his last. I want to say it was like Bud Atkinson. That might just be like an actor's name. But he referred to this exclusive club as Bud's Buds. And Lucy's dad was one of Bud's Buds. And when the NCR society really started to grow, it's like, look, this is something that's, they could become a problem, they can become a competitor, so they took care of them. When Lucy learns that, and her mom was there with the NCR, and he let her die, and she is now like a ghoul. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think it was something along the lines of, like, like your mother was already dead when she left, when she took you, or something like that. She's like, wow, I did all of this and experienced all the shit that I went through for someone who doesn't deserve my help. He doesn't deserve my mercy. And she doesn't kill her dad, but she doesn't save him either, but he is able to escape, gets a suit of power armor, and goes to the remnants of New Vegas, which is how it ends, because New Vegas got fucked. That's Lucy. Take the pen out of Maximus. So Maximus is our Brotherhood of Steel character. He is an aspirant, and then his friend becomes a squire to a knight, but his friend is in an accident that people blame Maximus for, but it turns out the friend did it to herself because she didn't actually want to go explore the wasteland. So Maximus becomes squire to Knight Titus, who is a dirty coward, and Maximus lets Titus die so he can take his power armor, and he adopts the moniker of Knight Titus. What I love about Maximus is I love how he contrasts Lucy. How Lucy is the idealist who, doesn't want to hurt people. She's like, but the golden rule, you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. We need to be good people and decent people. But as it goes along, she gets harder. That was a weird way of phrasing it, but I think you know what I mean. Like, more battle-hardened, like I said, sharper than the Sharpies. Maximus, you see pretty quickly, he's willing to do what he needs to do to get ahead. Like, yeah, I'll let Knight Titus die. I don't like him. He's a piece of shit. And he's, like, telling me that when we go back, he'll have me, like, strung up by my intestines. I have a better idea. How about we don't? I will go ahead and say about Knight Titus, the scene where he's, like, running from a Yaogwai, he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Hearing it from the power armor and, like, modifying his voice, making it very baritone and strong and badass, just, oh shit, made me laugh my ass off. It was fucking great as the power armor's, like, trying to clank away. Like I said, the show can be very funny, and I don't feel like that was unintentionally funny. It's Fallout. I feel like, no, they knew what they were doing. That was absolutely great. Maximus was bullied by a lot of the other aspirants, and one of them ends up getting promoted to be his new squire as Knight Titus, and so he just treats the dude like shit because he can, and he's being a real asshole, but it's really funny. There's this scene later when he's with Lucy, and I think it's Vault 4 that they go into, and Lucy's like, look, like, this is nice, but I have shit to do. I kind of don't want to stay. And Maximus, who has never really known security like this before, it's like, this is wonderful. This is everything I could ever want. Like, he's eating popcorn, he takes a nice shower, I think he's eating oysters, and he and Lucy have this conversation about sex, which she's very casual about. She's like, hey, you want to have sex? I don't remember exactly how he phrases it, but it's something along the lines of, but, like, the thing might happen. And, what thing? Well, I mean, with some guys, not me, I'm not weird like that, but with some guys, their thing, their penis, it swells up like a pimple, and then it pops, and, like, that's, it's weird and it's gross. It's just like describing a natural erection. It's so funny. It's so weird. I love Maximus. I think he's great. What I think I think the reason I really like his character, like I said, I think he has a lot of funny moments. I like how he's a foil to Lucy, is because when Shady Sands was bombed, it was the Brotherhood of Steel who stepped in and saved him. And he just has that image of him as this small, weak, scared kid looking up to this man or woman, I don't know, we didn't see a face, but this person in power armor. And him just thinking, this is what a knight is. They are someone who is strong. They are someone who is not afraid. They are someone who helps other people. That's what I want. I want to be strong so I can pay it forward. And learning over the course of his adventure that maybe the Brotherhood isn't the best way to do that, because they're not the best people, but Lucy seems like a really good person, and I enjoyed my time in that vault. Maybe strength isn't what I want. Maybe not what I want is to protect people. Maybe I just want to be protected. I just want to be secure. Is that so bad? Like, am I cowardly for that? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I am. I find it really interesting, and how, he keeps lying to people, saying, I am Knight Titus, like, I'm badass, I could do stuff. And I do like that when he finally confesses to Lucy who he is, there's not like this third act breakup, or you're a piece of shit for lying to me. She's like, all right, I mean, it is what it is, but hey, I still like you. When we're done with all this, do you want to live with me in my vault? I would love that. I would sincerely love that. And then, by the time the season is over, Lucy's gone, her dad is gone, the ghoul is gone, but he is now looked at it as this great hero of the Brotherhood of Steel, and is very confused by this, and isn't particularly happy with his new status. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do with my boy Maximus later. That was it. Like, I actually looked down at my notes for like the first time in a while, and the way I described Maximus was, he dreams of knighthood and valor, but grows disillusioned and aware of his unhappiness. Like, no, yep. That basically sums it up. And then you have Coop, the ghoul. And that is our pre-war storyline. It is him who was this actor who ended up getting involved in Vault-Tec because his wife worked for Vault-Tec. And slowly but surely just kind of thinking, there's something off about Vault-Tec. There's something really scummy about this group and this industry, and I don't trust them, but I trust my wife. And I'm having trouble reconciling those two parts of myself. And then by the end, realizing that not only was he right to doubt Vault-Tec, he was completely wrong to trust his wife. Because not only was his wife in on all of this stuff about dropping the bombs, this was her idea. And she is the one that was also saying, what we can do with the vaults is make these experiments. Because if you know anything about Fallout, that's a big thing, is this is what Vault-Tec wanted to see or was trying to achieve with this vault, and they let shit play out, and boy, does that happen here. Well, I mean, not that we really see a lot of it, although we do see in Vault 4. What was Vault 4's? Because I think Vault 4's was like everyone was exposed to radiation, and you get Chris Parnell, who, like, I recognized him instantly from his voice, but Chris Parnell is like a cyclops. So that's his pre-war story is essentially him being taken advantage, kind of like Lucy, like being taken advantage of for his naivete and wanting to be a good person. The clothes that he wore, because he was a former actor, was kind of the same Vault-Tec colors. And he's like, yeah, like for these Vault-Tec ads, I've got this idea, like I can give like a nice thumbs up, everything's going to be okay. I'm like, I think they never truly say it in the show, but the vibe I got is that that's why Vault Boy is always giving thumbs up. Like, Coop was the inspiration for Vault Boy. And there's this scene where he sees, like, a Vault Boy billboard, and he just, like, shoots the face. He's like, no, on site, I fucking hate this thing. And then later you get the context for it. I'm like, hey, that's really interesting. And so as the ghoul, he's this very, very cynical man. He is a bounty hunter. He does not give a fuck about pretty much anybody but himself. You find out at the very end of the season that he's looking for his family. And with what we know by that point about Vault 31 and Bud's Buds, it is assumed that they are either in 31 or his wife and his daughter are maybe overseeing another vault or maybe out and about somewhere. There's this one scene where he's talking to this other ghoul and the ghoul goes feral, which in this it's weird because like there's a drug that he uses to keep himself sane, and as far as I'm aware, that's not actually a thing in the games. I asked some of my friends about that, like, yeah, we've never seen that before. So I don't know if that was like something in Van Buren that never made it into a game because Van Buren got scrapped, or if this is a completely new invention for the show. But he kills his friend, and then he starts like cutting pieces off of him so he can eat it for later. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's gotta do what you can to survive. And then he's like, why am I doing this? I have Lucy here in chains. Do this. Ass jerky won't make itself. And yeah, she had to make ass jerky for him. That was fucking weird. The other main character is Norm, who is Lucy's younger brother, and while she goes out to explore the wasteland and find her dad, Norm stays behind in the vault. And it's his story where you kind of start to realize, okay, like there is a genuine mystery here of what the fuck is going on in Vault 31. It's him that actually meets Bud, who is now a brain inside a robot. And he learns about Bud's Buds, and he sees all the people in 31, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, every overseer has come from Vault 31, and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to say his is the least interesting, because I feel like it is still really interesting. I just think, I feel like it got less focused than the others. Because it was a couple episodes before we kind of realized, oh, Norm is a main character with his own storyline. But I do think it's still solid. Like, I liked the mystery and learning more shit and blah, blah, blah. I think the characters are interesting. I think the show is really good. And then I just have some fun observations and things that I enjoyed. Number one, like I said, the stuff with Vault Tech and the fact that you realize by the end, it's like, no, they dropped the bombs. Mr. House apparently knew about it because you get to see Mr. House. And yeah, with the it looks like it's confirmed that New Vegas will be part of season 2, assuming there is a second season. I don't know if it's been renewed. With Lucy, I don't remember the name of her dad, but Lucy's dad going to New Vegas. It might canonize that Mr. House isn't dead, and we'll see if they do anything with Mr. House. I'm just not hundo on that. There's some really fun deaths in this show. Like I said, the Enclave guy, who I know as Ben from Lost, and I don't remember his name, but he plays one of the main characters in Person of Interest, which, coincidentally enough, I watched with a couple of my friends who were also really into Fallout, so they were like, dude, like, people know him from Lost, we know him from Person of Interest. Like, that made them really excited, is he dies from eating a banana-flavored cyanide pill, the most humane thing Vault-Tec ever invented. This isn't a death, but during the scene where, like, the raiders are attacking the wedding, a woman gets, like, a fork stuck in her eye, and it's there for the rest of the episode, and then onward she wears an eye patch. During that scene, there's a raider who's, like, fighting people and just, like, grabbing cake and eating it. There's, like, getting back to the deaths, someone gets, like, dissected by, like, a vault door slamming on them. It's like, oh, it was so violent, it was so badass. There's a scene in, I don't remember what the name of the town was. I almost called it Megaton. I'm like, no, it's fucking not Megaton. This is in around LA or Santa Monica, where a dude gets shot in the throat, and then the ghoul's just like eating cherry tomatoes. And these cherry tomatoes, son, are so good. You know, I'd offer you one, but you got this big ass hole in the throat, so you won't be able to appreciate it. And the dude just dies. In the first episode, a raider takes a gun and, like, puts it against a wall, takes someone's head, shoves them, like, the gun into their mouth, and fires the bullets, which go through the person's head and then shoot people behind them. And I think that was my favorite kill throughout the show. What was the Squire's name? I can't remember what Maximus the Squire's name was off the top of my head. Did I write it down? I don't think I did. I failed. Thaddeus! I was like, I think it started with a T. Where he takes these drugs and it turns him into a ghoul. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what they meant by that, because it's not like his skin gets fucked up. That is another thing. Like, when you do hear, the ghouls don't really talk like this. And I don't think I heard anyone call a human smooth skin. It's not like that's an awful change, but I'm like, that's a Fallout identity thing. That's kind of weird to see it gone. But, like, Thaddeus, an arrow goes through his neck when he steps on a trap, and I was like, that is such a funny way to fucking kill this dude. And then he just, like, pulls it out, and he heals. He's like, oh no, I'm a ghoul. I'm undead. I'm like, is that what happened? I thought maybe he just, like, took some Hydra or something, because I think Hydra is a thing in Fallout. I don't know. Maybe that's something to get more explained in season 2. It's like, again, like, his skin was fine. There was nothing about him that seemed ghoulish. He could just heal, but okay. The dude that sold him the medication. One of the funniest scenes in the entire show is Maximus, now with his armor, he's like, I am a knight. I am a knight of the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm gonna help people. And he sees these two dudes getting into a fight. This guy's like, please stop. I'm sorry, like, I'll never do it again. And he breaks up the fight, and he's like, you go, good citizen, be free. You piece of shit. Why are you hurting that guy? What's wrong with you? And he's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Knight, I'll never, he was fucking my chickens. And then Maximus has this look on his face. Like, did I help the right person? Did I do a good thing? And as the dude is running, before Maximus learns about the chicken fucking, he's like, thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Someone can understand my scientific pursuits. He was fucking my chickens. I'm so hard at that. Like, there's a scene where this radiation monster is also, like, eating Thaddeus and just, like, chewing on him. And I don't know why I was laughing so hard. I think that was another scene where Maximus is the one in the armor, not Tyson. Like, shit. Yeah, just, like, all the wild shit in Vault 4, like, Chris Parnell Cyclops, or they have this, they catch Lucy doing some shit that she's not supposed to do. So her punishment is death by exile, because they're sending her back out into the world. They're like, and to do it, we're not animals. We're going to give you all of this clean water and all of this food. And it just kind of made me laugh, like how they were having this like really big moment. And then like, no, we're still nice. We're not awful people. The golden rule, man. Oh, the music. I thought about it a couple times. Yeah, like it's Fallout. Old-timey music. There were a few times where like Maximus gets into a fight with people and it specifically plays some Johnny Cash music, and I really liked that. I thought the music was great. I loved the title screen in every episode. It would just, the word Fallout, they do different things with it. Like I remember in one, there's just like a bunch of bullets that hit the title. I think that's it. Like I said, I've been meaning to just kind of say something about this show, for a while. I know this video was very kind of scatterbrained and all over the place. I apologize for that. But, short version, from my limited knowledge of the Fallout series, while it's not a perfect representation, I think it does a good job of capturing the tone of Fallout and the themes of Fallout, while also acknowledging the fact that there's a lot of side shit. And if you play Fallout, you're probably going to get distracted with a lot of the side shit. To me, I think really the big theme of the show is that no civilization can really prosper without resulting to war. That's why war never changes. It's not because, like, the technology will change, the tactics will change, but the concept of wanting to destroy something because it's a threat or because you can benefit in some way from it, that will always happen. It happened in the pre-war. Excuse me, it happened in like the pre-nukes. There was a war going on, and then because Vault-Tec realized we can capitalize on this, they did. Shady Sands seemed like a civilization was thriving until it didn't. New Vegas, same shit until it didn't. I feel like for me, and it's war is chaos, but chaos is profitable. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I also think it's pretty funny that when the show was advertised, because it's on Amazon, they mentioned that, like, 2-day free delivery, and then the show came out 2 days early, so that was the free delivery, 2-day free delivery. I just thought that was super neat. I thought that was super fun. Very much looking forward to season 2, like I said, assuming there is one. I think it'll be a good time. I hope you've seen it, and I hope you enjoyed it.